Hi, 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 beautiful souls. Welcome to this edition of the Almost Daily Divine. It's our weekly intuitive energy forecast, and it is March the 8th, 2026. My name is Lisa Diane Lyle, and this is my Hearts Offering here on YouTube. And I'm really excited to get into today. There's been a lot of interesting energy rolling around this weekend. And you may have found yourself this weekend caught in a trap and in your mind space. So, we're going to talk about that a little bit. How are you all doing? Can you believe it is March 8th? We are going to have a Friday the 13th this week, another day of the divine feminine. The goddess is rising. Beyond her mind, the sacred heart beats. Oh, man. Okay. At this time, I'd like to ask that I'm a clear and pure channel to bring through messages from Source Divine, loving and kind, with the intention of supporting our greatest and highest outcome achieved in this timeline. So, how are y'all doing? How's your weekend been? It's Sunday for everyone, and it's Monday for me. And ready to tackle the week. Oh, jeez. Ready to tackle the week once again. Yesterday was a lovely day. It was really foggy around here and quite mild. And it was a great day. Had breakfast with my sister and then we went thrift shopping. I spent $100 and I got myself 4 pairs of pants and 5 or 6 tops, a book, and 2 mugs. And I got a senior's discount. The guy at the front, he's like, do you have any discount? And I'm like, what qualifies for a discount? And he said something. And then he said, oh, and seniors. And I said, how old is a senior? And he said, 55. And I said, well, I'm 55. He said, you're not 55. And my sister said, yeah, she is 55. And so I got a senior's discount for the first time. I guess you get it at this place called Shoppers Drug Mart here too, but I don't shop there. So yeah, that was nice. And what a treat. I'm so excited. It's always nice to sort of treat ourselves. And personally, I've been a little bit in my head this weekend. It's been a little, I've been thinking, I didn't sit and write it last night, but as I was walking the dog last night, I kept thinking about, how we as humans sometimes make presumptions. Yeah. Seniors discount at 55. Can you believe it, Dawn? It was so awesome. It's a place called Talese. Everybody talks about this place. I had never been in there. And so I said to my sister, do you want to go like check it out? Or I told her I was going to check it out. And then she agreed to come along and it was super cool. I think I need longer in there. It's a big store, but I like quirky things and I found myself some really um, nice stuff. Nice stuff. I'm excited. It's almost like a new wardrobe. So then I came home. Hey, babe. So then I came home from there and I cleaned my closet so I could fit the new stuff in and filled up a bag of giveaways I'm going to take with me to the job today. And, whoever wants it can take it and the rest will go to a thrift shop. So on top of that, it's, you know, have you ever made a mistake? Have you ever made a mistake or have you ever made, well, I mean, yes, we've all made mistakes, right? And I made a mistake last week and, I've been, um, it's been kind of playing on my brain. It didn't so much at the time. Like Thursday, was a really busy day for me at the job last week. And I'm in a new area I'm not often in. And so it's a bit of a learning curve. And there was a lot going on that night. And so I was kept busy, even though I had already made the mistake. And so then Friday night, was it Friday night? Yeah, Friday night when I got in bed, it really started to settle in because it was really busy. Work was busy on Thursday, and then Friday I had plans and my visit with the seniors and stuff like that. And it wasn't until I got in bed Friday night that I really started to like reflect upon what this mistake was. And I couldn't, it was like bothering me a lot. And yesterday morning, got up and went and met my sister. And, I had to tell her, had to tell her what I did. And she was like, oh, it's okay. Like maybe you're overthinking it or whatever. And, maybe I was overthinking. Maybe I do have a tendency to overthink. And then last night when I was walking Rex, I kept having this, because the mistake, I made an assumption and then I acted presumptuous. And then on the other side of it, felt rather embarrassed by the whole thing. I made it right. Um, and I was thinking how sometimes maybe our assumptions have us doing presumptuous things and then inadvertently trespassing on others. And I could get emotional about it. I could cry about it. I did a little bit on the walk last night because I don't think for those of us here, I don't feel that it's our intention to ever trespass. We talk about that a lot here, and we talk about integrity a lot here. And, sometimes trespassing is not just like doing something like to hurt somebody. It's it can be done, with like good intentions, and yet ultimately it's not really the right thing to do. And so how do we treat ourselves when we've done something that we know is a mistake? um, can we be gentle with ourselves? Can we be compassionate with ourselves and do the right thing, make things right? So I'd like to make things right. I feel like I did in some ways, but I'd also like to extend an apology. So if the person I inadvertently trespassed against happens to be connecting with this, like, I hope the message lands. I'm truly sorry. Um, it wasn't my intent to cause harm or overstep or anything like that. And I know that I did. So, yeah. Sunday confessions with Lisa Lyle. I'm not going into the details of it because it's really silly. And perhaps one day I'll have an opportunity to not so much explain myself, just um, apologize. So, with that being said, it feels like we may be moving into this week feeling, like that we have made a mistake. And, feeling like, in the past, perhaps when we've made mistakes, we've been like, unwilling to even admit that we've made a mistake or have any real feeling connected to it. And what I found this weekend is it was really about forgiving myself. And like, yeah, we can be embarrassed about things, but at the end of the day, we still have to keep moving in the world. So hey, welcome, Colleen. Ms. Wing 222. So if you're feeling anything like I am as we start this new week, and you're feeling, perhaps like, oh, I've made a mistake, or you're feeling embarrassed about something you've done, ultimately it comes back to, again, our relationship with ourself and knowing like our heart and what our intentions are. Yeah, I know. But we have to move through it, right? We have to move through how we're feeling about the mistakes we've made or the trespasses, the inadvertent trespassing that we've done on another. And, I texted my sister last night and I'm like, oh my God, I can't get out of my head. And da, 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 da. And she sent it back, Lisa, you're probably overthinking the whole thing. And I'm like, yeah, well, that's how I, that's how I roll. And then the walk was helpful. And the conversation like that I was hearing in my head, if you will, was, assumptions can lead us to act presumptuous and inadvertently trespass on others. And, it's not a great feeling. And yet, again, we can't change anything we've done. We can rectify our mistakes. To err is to be human, HUE, and to recognize that we've made a mistake and to um, own up to it, I guess, is it's a part of the growing and learning. And yeah, sometimes, growing up is hard to do. Growing up is hard to do. Uh, and I've walked so intentionally for the last year and a half, and this mistake was like, I felt so stupid, like anyways. So we're not stupid, and we are receiving signs, and our awareness, our ability to see the error of our ways is, a great opportunity to learn and grow and to practice humility, because it's often not easy to admit we've made a mistake, and yet we're always in the loving embrace of a loving creator. And when we get into our breath, I find sometimes just like simply focus breathing is like meditation. Life is a meditation, and you'll see the thumbnail today is like, may my life be like a feather on the breath of God. I don't, we're not here to trespass on another's heart. We're not here to, we're here to evolve. So I'm going to just read. Mo says, oh, we all make mistakes and assumptions, and we're often hardest on ourselves when that happens, especially when it happens when we had good intentions. Yeah. And again, it was more like, and sometimes we feel embarrassed. Like I felt really embarrassed by that mistake. And not that anybody else made me feel embarrassed, or not that I won't be able to show my face or anything. It's just like, what a silly assumption, And like I said, it didn't land until, you know, uh, later. And then once it settled in my brain, I was like, oh my God, what have I done? Like, how silly, foolish. And so it feels like as we come into this week, we are in this embrace of just unconditional love. It's okay to make mistakes. The key is to learn from the mistakes we make and to not repeat the mistakes. And we're at this point where we're not repeating. We have previously repeated, right? Because perhaps our ego got in the way, or we wouldn't want to we're not able to admit we made a mistake. Oh my gosh, how could I make a mistake? And then maybe we want to blame others. Well, how did that happen? Or not, I wasn't looking to blame anyone. I knew what I had done, and like I said, I just felt so embarrassed. And yeah, so can we continue to trust our innate wisdom even in the face of a mistake or a trespass? Again, um, knowing our intentions and knowing that God knows our heart. And we spoke a little bit about that Friday during the live stream and the free card pulls. It was like, ultimately, Creator, loving source knows our heart, and um, and loves us anyways. Loves us because of our heart. And so can we still do that? Can we do that as well? Mo says that she had a poster that said to err is human, to forgive is canine. Yeah, except I didn't trespass against the canine. I did against a human, and one that I'm really fond of. And oh man, anywho, signs. 11. We are the channels of light, and we are on the cusp of flight. We are really, it feels like many of you here, as we move into this week, you are growing, like your light is um, glowing more brightly. And perhaps it's because of mistakes that we've made and our ability to see the error of our ways and make corrections and alignments. And the most challenging part for me, up until about, I don't know, 30 hours ago, and then I read something 30 hours ago, not that long ago, like 16 hours ago or something. Anyways, and then I read something, and it brought me peace again, and it helped me to get out of my head again. And so I didn't even feel like I was going to come here and talk about it. And yet it does feel important, because if I'm moving through stuff, there's no doubt that others are moving through similar things, especially if you um, resonate with me. And so my hand's starting to shake. Be gentle with yourself. Don't beat yourself up. And when you find yourself like rehashing and overthinking, just breathe and come back into your heart. Rest. Take it easy. Take it easy. Don't fret. Don't get all frazzled. You are bedazzled. And to see yourself as creator sees us, what a gift. We give ourselves a gift by letting us off the hook. That doesn't mean we're not there's not consequences for choices and actions that we've done or made. It is, though, it allows us not to drive ourselves insane about rehashing a mistake that literally cannot be changed. It can be rectified. It can't be taken back, even if we wish we could take it back. So keep trusting the signs you're receiving. Ah, by practicing forgiveness. 3, we are co-creating with the divine, and we are here to learn lessons in love, lessons in yeah, it's always lessons in love, right? Because ultimately we are the vessel of love. And so our greatest lesson is to continue to love ourselves even when we feel like we've made a mistake. And that's growth. That's growth, because perhaps when we were younger and we made a mistake, we weren't let off the hook so easily. And again, it's not like we're letting ourselves off the hook if we take responsibility for what we've done, if we admit we maybe made ourselves look like an ass for making assumptions and then acting presumptuous. And yet I'm you know more embarrassed than anything. Trust that the human knows the kind, loving soul that you are, and knows the love in your heart and your intentions as you show up so authentically. We're all perfectly imperfect humans. Yeah, who wrote that book? There's a book. I have the book. I can't think right now. I can't think right now. I guess I'm not meant to. Thank you, Mo, for saying that. And opening our heart. We continue to open our heart. And I do feel like the person I inadvertently trespassed against, I do feel like they understand and know. Um, and yet um, still, it's what we have to move through, right? As we continue to grow up, continuing to hold our head high, shoulders back and down, and keeping the heart open, right to love and be loved, heart healing. And as the parent that we've shown up as for the beautiful child that lives within us, we're showing up in different ways for the child that feels embarrassed. for forgiving ourselves and knowing that in the eyes of love, all is forgiven and love is winning. And this is interesting that we get this card again. How's the back of the heart feeling, everyone? There was a lot of discomfort and tense energies that we were feeling last week. And it does feel like this has subsided significantly in the last 48 hours, even in light of mistakes or maybe because of mistakes. I love that this has come out. And look at the spirit in the sky. Going on up to the spirit in the sky. That's where I'm gonna go when I die. When I die and they lay me to rest, I'm gonna go to the place that's the best. Can we make this the best place? Let's live today as if we're alive. And let us forgive ourselves, because yeah, when we die, we're going to take all those lessons in love that we learned, and they're going to move with us, transition with us into a new experience, into a new life. And so here it's about being, lightening up while we're here, light as a feather, and healing and transforming and seeing the bigger picture, trusting ourselves, and knowing our own heart. And yes, we do all make mistakes, and it's how we navigate um, the after effect of the mistakes that we make. We forgive ourselves. We're completing a cycle where we hold on to these things, and we hold grudges, or we beat ourselves up because we feel stupid. And like they say, you make assumptions, you make an ass out of you. I was thinking about that last night. I didn't make an ass out of the other person, I made an ass out of myself. Ugh. Anyways, we're always guided, and we make changes. The heart is our inner compass. Support and trust your guidance and innate wisdom. And we're asked to see the bigger picture as we go into this week, riding our unicorn, trusting our heart more. We're healing, trusting that we are adored, shutting the door on the painful past, even if that's yesterday or Thursday or whenever, shutting the door on that. Going forward, we're a couple weeks away from the true beginning of the new year. How exciting. Are you feeling excited for spring? Vitality, celebrating. Celebrating what? Ourselves, our ability to see ourselves truly, our ability to show up authentic even when we feel like we have mud on our face. That's okay. That's how the lotus gets to the surface. Oh, that's how the lotus comes up from the mud, right? I mean, the lotus doesn't appear on the surface with mud on their face, but sometimes us humans have to walk through the world feeling like we got a little bit of mud on our face, but we're not tarnished and stained when we stay in the purity of our heart, right? Can we trust the process of growing up? Can we continue to trust, knowing that there's always growing up to do? Hey, Angela, welcome, sis. Just here talking about mistakes and how we navigate mistakes. Well, we celebrate. We listen to music, we cry, and crying's good. We don't have to feel embarrassed about that. Like, I was out walking the dog last night, and again, all this was going through my head: assumptions, presumptions, trespassing. Oh my God, Lisa, you trespassed. And it gave me a new perspective. Perhaps it's like, maybe I read too much into it or anything, but that's how I go. And I'm sure that there will be more that comes from this, because I learned something. I don't think we often, when we hear like, let us not trespass on others, like, often we feel like that's causing harm, going out and hurting someone, stealing from someone. Um, there's other ways to trespass, and they can be, we can feel like we're doing the right thing, or, oh, again, we make an assumption, and so we act presumptuous, and, we overstep a line. Can we still remember that we're divine? And to err is human. We're humankind. And can we trust that others know our heart, even if they don't really know us, or, you know what I mean? So it feels like, all of this, it feels like we're moving into a more expansive space this week. We're actually, I just heard, under the umbrella of grace. Forgive yourself. I'm learning. Oh, look. Everything's unfolding in divine and perfect order. The right to love and be loved. It's all coming together. Even though, like, the coming together may seem like messy or slow like molasses or whatever. Just get out of your own way, get out of your own head. And I'm saying that from a girl who's spent a lot of the last 36 hours in her head. And it's almost back to that, lashing ourselves. I'm grateful for the messages I received that allowed me to sleep peacefully last night, and to understand, like, growing up is not easy to do. And yet, it's a new layer. It's almost like a new wattage of light is going to shine through, because we learn something. We learn something. And usually it's about ourselves. Yeah. Mo says she's glad she's not the only one that, to know that she's not the only one that replays stuff in her head while she's walking the dog. Yeah. And end up so emotional in tears. I know. I was like, I was feeling stupid. That's the thing. I was embarrassed. And then I'm like, why are you crying? Like, almost like the impatient parent. Why are you crying? And then I just, like, pulled myself together, and I'm like, yeah, I don't really need to cry over it. I'm crying because I truly, um, I wish I hadn't have done that. And yet we can't change. Beltane, passion, soul satisfaction. It's an 11 again. And it feels like the coming together, trusting the signs and the guidance and our innate wisdom. And, as we forgive ourselves, we heal. As we continue to um, be compassionate with ourselves, it leads us to our passion and soul satisfaction, and, knowing our own heart. That's so important, to know our heart as we walk in a world, and as we walk with the hearts of others. That sometimes can be the hardest part for us, if we make a mistake, that we've, like, oh, how, did we hurt somebody else? Or maybe we did hurt, we know we hurt someone else, or we made ourselves look silly by making assumptions. And it's okay. It's okay. We'll get over it. We'll get over it. As the days go, we get over it. We grow, and we find our passion again. And this feels like, I'm feeling like, as we come together with one another, it ignites deeper healing. And it's almost like, the earth is saying yes, yes, and the heavens are saying yes, yes. You've done your best, and will continue to do your best. And this is what we want: to enact our will. We don't want to impose our will on others. And that's the trespassing we usually think about, right? Is the trespassing when we're imposing our will on another. And then there's also the trespassing that, like I did in the past week, trespassing as by making an assumption and then doing something like I really shouldn't have done. And I knew it even in the moment, but I just kind of thought, oh well, and yeah. So number 7. So it feels like this week is kicking off with like movement. And we had that with the guidance card. The guidance card, moving forward from our heart. you know um it does feel a little, like I said, when we can face the fact that we've made a mistake and own up to the mistake we made in our unique way. Perhaps if we have the opportunity, we make a mistake, we trespass against someone, hopefully we have an opportunity to let that person know that we've trespassed. It wasn't right. It was, and we amend the behavior so we don't do it again. And sometimes it's just about amending the behavior, because sometimes we don't get the opportunity to have, a conversation with another, to say what we would like to say. So can we trust that by acting in loving ways and continuing to trust our inner guidance, that we're supported to continue to move forward and to continue to grow? We don't have to go back there. And so, here today, owning up to my mistake, to all of you who don't even know what my mistake was, but to all of you, it's like, perhaps there's an opportunity for some one of you to be a little more gentle with yourself as well. And we don't have to repeat things and rehash things in our head. We can, and maybe we do that a little bit because we are human. We're not God, if you will, although the essence of God is our beautiful heart. We're okay to make mistakes, and we don't have to keep rehashing it and revisiting it. So being grounded and moving forward from the heart space, and each child grows at their own beautiful pace, so that we may experience joy again. This is number 17, which is healing. We've had so many healing cards. As we forgive ourselves, our heart heals. We're trusting, as we know ourselves and knowing our heart, we begin to trust more. And it's like, yeah, okay. Joy is the call of the day. Joy is what we're here for. And we're here to get out of our own way so that we can experience the joy again. I like this energy. I hope this is making sense. I hope it's making sense. So let's get some Magdalene. And then 1, 2, or 3. 1, 2, or 3 for, we're going to pull an Archangel Michael and a Return to Spirit card for those numbers. Perception. Can we trust that those we are aligned with, those that we resonate heart energy with, or those that we share space with, can we trust that they also have the ability, as we do, to shift our perspective, to shift to understanding, perhaps after the point of contact, or the point of the wound, if you will, or the trespass? We have to shift. Hey, Gina, welcome, sis. We're called to see things from a higher perspective, including ourselves, including our mistakes. And that is the way that we move onto the spiral of grace and off of that karmic wheel where we're spinning our wheels in our head like, oh my God, so embarrassed or this or that, and not practicing humility, not seeing the error of our ways. And then when we do see the error of our ways, can we forgive ourselves and move forward anyway? And I would venture to say, yes, we can, because if we've learned, then we're not going to make that same mistake again. Yeah, I should learn before I write sometimes. And maybe before I speak. Color healing, working with color. It feels like, again, was said earlier in this live, it feels like there's a new wattage coming online, and it's via the walk with our heart and the softening and the healing, and working with color can help us support us through. Pink is like loving, it's mothering energy. I love to wear pink because it feels like very loving and feminine and bright. And so it feels like perhaps color color therapy, getting out into the sunshine. The snow's quite substantially gone around here, and you're beginning to see the green grass and you know um, the underneath of things. I feel like they're taking me to the joy card. Coloring our world with love. There's always another mountain to climb. There's always another, um, well, at level 55, I'm coming to realize that more than ever that, we're always growing. There's always an opportunity to show up more authentically. And, I guess that was troubling. That was rolling around in my brain last night too. Integrity, authenticity. And it's like, oh, perhaps when we make a mistake, then we look back and we're like, well, was that really integral? Oh, Lisa, this is where my head was going. Oh, Lisa, you're always talking about integrity and authenticity, and look what you did. How stupid, how foolish. And then it's funny because it was raining the other night. I don't know if it was last night or the night before. It was raining, and yeah, like, can we wash away all the nasty thoughts, the nasty things we say about ourselves when we make a mistake? Can we get out of feeling guilty? Can we get out of feeling ashamed and embarrassed? Yeah, we can. And we can do it pretty quickly when we're in our heart space, when we're, when we're in our heart space. Oh, right. And then there are two more cards here. Oh, I went to put the cards down and then they're like, look at the bottom. So that's sweet. I'm not going to say much more about that. We're all lovers, right? We're lovers of life. We're learning to love ourselves more in the face of mistakes, and um, we are under the umbrella of grace, a loving mother, and us showing up for ourselves as the loving parent, not being impatient with ourselves um, as we move through the recognition and the acceptance that we've made a mistake, and um, owning up to it, facing the mistake that we've made, and then moving forward. What else are we going to do? This is as a loving creator, a loving mother, a loving father wants for us. And then it's taking me back to that card, the passion card. As we connect more deeply with our heart, it's like things light up. And perhaps it is lovers coming together, lovers meeting one another. I suspect lovers have already met one another in, oh my gosh, the etheric realms. And then they get to meet each other in the material or the physical realm as ordained by God, um, co creative and loving and forgiving. Powerful energy. We got God, Mother Mary, and co-creation. So this is what we're here in service to, and it's via our path of forgiveness. We're walking with our family of light, and we're always being guided. Being guided to what? Keep like opening our heart more. There may be things that won't have us feeling like, oh, just shut it down, shut the heart down. But that would be self-defeating because you've come too far. You've worked too hard. You've overcome a lot of hard stuff. The stuff now is just um there's I'm feeling like a refinement of skills and perhaps also an expanded perception of what healing and growing up looks like. So, anywho, I hope this is making sense. Those are powerful cards, aren't they? This is a powerful week. We're powerful. It's about our joy returning, staying, keeping our heart open, even when we feel embarrassed, even when we feel um, we may have dirt on our face. It's kind of cute sometimes to have some dirt on your face, isn't it? You get a little playing in the garden and you get a little dirt on your face. It's okay. We can wipe it off. Trust your heart. So one, two, or three. One, two, or three. What will it be? And we're going to start with Archangel Michael, and then we'll get a Return of Spirit card. And then I'm going to go. How's everyone feeling with that hour we lost? Yeah, it's like this morning went by quick. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm on a time limit. I've been to the grocery store, walked the dog, came home, made some lunch. You're lucky you slept. I have to go to work today. Okay, so one. So number one, this as you move into this week, it's about cultivating your own peace. We have an 11 here again and a 9. So let's go back to the 11 and 9 that we got earlier. Perhaps there may be so 9 here was the forgiveness card. Over here it's wings of light, positive news. Your ability to forgive yourself, it feels, ushers in some positive news. And that positive news may just be the recognition that you've done it. You've grown. It's like a level up again. And every time there's a level up, there's also, in my personal experience, there's also a softening, whether it's the voice changes, whether it's like the mannerisms change a little bit. There's just a softness. And so, for those of you guided to number one, I feel like walk softly with your heart this week as you go out into the world. You're not here. Life's not a competition. You're not in competition with anyone. And for a lot of us, male or female, I'm not sure how it goes in the male realm of things. Women, though, for a long time, it's always been like women are competing against one another. Really? For what? For what? There's no competition. You're not in competition with anyone. You are here to uncover and rediscover the divine truth that lives and breathes as you. The pink wings and the pink moon, it's like really divine mother energy, unconditionally loving. So when you feel yourself this week, number one's feeling like perhaps a little thrown for a loop, bring yourself back to the peace that lives and breathes as you. It's because you are birthing a new experience. You are co creating with God, with the divine, your experience of heaven on earth, beyond the mind. And I can tell you, when we're in the mind, we're not really aligned with the divine. We can stay there as long as we want. We can stay there as long as we want. What God wants for us, what loving source wants for us, is for us to remain in our heart. So remain in your heart, number one. Work with your breath. You are indeed birthing new earth, and your heart knows best. And peace is, I'm hearing, an expansive investment. Like peace knows best. When we're not feeling peace, when you're feeling dis-ease, breathe a little more deeply. So number two, everything passes, doesn't it? Mo says she's not a fan of spring forward. I heard somewhere that they were going to stop this foolishness. There's an old native proverb that says only a white man would think you could cut an inch off of the bottom of the blanket and sew it to the top of the blanket and you have a longer blanket. It's kind of how I feel about this time change and stuff. It's ridiculous because I feel like I have an hour less of my own time. It's ridiculous. But do we really? No, we still have the same amount of time. I was saying to my son last night, it doesn't matter. The sun still sets. It doesn't care what time we have our clocks at. The sun still sets. I think it is for everyone, isn't it? Not for us too? Anywho, all right, number two. Oh, wow. Oh my gosh, really? So I'm not going to look at this card yet. I haven't looked at it yet. Look what flipped on the table, the Return of Spirit. That's what this deck is called. It's like after the fall, the resurrection begins. Your spirit, it feels like you're feeling restored and rejuvenated from within because you have stayed committed to the path of your heart. You have stayed committed to your spiritual awakening. I always feel in here, or not necessarily always. Today, I'm really feeling in the center here. It's like the good witch. I don't know why I'm seeing that. Um, oh, um, I'm seeing this here as Glenda the Good Witch. It's almost like make a wish. And whatever you've wished for and have stayed focused and committed to, it's coming to fruition. Your sacred vision is coming to fruition. Do not give up on yourself now. The golden age, Shambhala, returning to a state of grace, living in, like, so the lotus came up and perhaps there was a little mud on the lotus, and then the lotus adjusted itself, righted itself, and it's just shining, you know, opportunities, always more opportunities for growth, especially when you know that you're here in service to the eternal soul, a love that never dies, just grows brighter and brighter with time. Keep trusting your intuition. Trust your sacred vision. What are you committed to? And it feels like the shift is you have been, and perhaps if you haven't been, the message is the shift is to commit to yourself because you can bring all that you deeply desire into your experience. It's like the golden age of what? What is the golden age? The streets are paved with gold? No. The golden age, I feel, is settling into the co creative energy, always guided by the divine, knowing this and experiencing the joy that we were meant for. That's what God, Creator Source, wants for us, to live passionately, to keep our heart open. Keep your heart open. Keep your heart open like the lotus who is chosen, the lotus who has chosen themselves and chosen to walk the road less traveled, chosen to walk with their softly with their heart. Every breath, every breath, every step is the opportunity for the fresh start. So number 2, keep going. I love this. It's like wishes and dreams do come true. It may not have been easy, and yet you stayed committed to being yoked to the divine. That's how I was seeing the yoke, as the infinity symbol. Yoked to the divine at all times. Beyond the mind, the sacred heart beats. The immortal present. Yeah, there's no time like the present. Is there another time? This is where life is lived, in the present moment, right? Again, we can play those tapes in our heads. Oh my god, I shouldn't have done that. Oh my god, what was I thinking? Oh my god, I wasn't thinking. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. And then we can stop. We can place our hand on our heart and breathe, and oh my god, it's okay. You didn't kill anyone. uh, okay, so number 3. Number 2 is I trust that resonated. And thank you, Angela. Yeah, sometimes, everything just flows together. Maybe we're not meant to pick. That flipped. I'll get you another one too. But number 3, intuition, these messages, intuition and mediumship. I went to, so this little story. I went to my happy place on Friday and visited my healing tree, a girl in her tree. We grew up together. That tree grew me up. And, as I got there, and then, I hung out for a bit, and then I was walking along the shoreline. I found a beautiful big piece of beach glass. And then I was talking to God, right? And I'm like, oh, what would be really nice to see is a big a blue piece of beach glass. So I did my walk, and I was looking for blue beach glass, which I didn't find. Yet right at the end of the walk, I found this blue lighter. And I'm like, oh, a blue lighter? That's weird. It probably doesn't work, but I put it in my pocket, and I'm like, I'm going to bring it home. It works. So I didn't find blue beach glass, but I found a blue lighter. And it was just like, can we, we may ask for specific things from spirit, specific signs. And I feel like the message for you, number 3, is to stay open to receiving things that you feel as signs. So I didn't find blue beach glass, but I found a blue lighter that actually works. And so I took it as a sign. So number 3, you've got mediumship and intuition here. No one can tell you how to receive or how your intuition works. Intuition, it's like gut instinct, I like to say. And oftentimes our instincts, our intuition will prevent us from, making a mistake. Not all the time, because sometimes the mind gets involved and we're like, no, it's okay. Like, yeah, it's probably how it went. Oh. When it didn't go like that at all. So Number 3, the message is trust your intuition, get out of your own way because your gifts are opening. And you do have, it's in the void, in the space between breath, in the quiet, the still of the night, in the still of the night, where we are able to receive best. And so those of you guided to number 3, I feel like you're going to have things opening for you this week. Maybe you're hearing differently. Maybe you're more deeply tuned in than you ever have been before. To what? The eternal flame of light that lives and breathes as you hear now, the child born for flight. This is a number 31. We have already had a 31. I'm trying to find the other one. We've already had a 31 here today, and I don't remember what it is. We will find it though. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Ancient of days, the eternal flame. We are here to celebrate. You're here to celebrate yourself as, you allow your gifts to open. We don't have to push our gifts to open either. All we are asked to do is to trust our intuition more. Trust our intuition more. Listening to the heart that beats within and not so much the mind that wants to spin and have us spin out. Stay in your heart. There's a lot here to celebrate, I feel. And I feel like you have, this week, you have the opportunity to more deeply ignite that, not ignite, more deeply establish connection to the eternal flame that currently lives and breathes as you. Acts of service support wishes and dreams coming true. I do rhyme without even trying. I'm like a modern day Dr. Seuss, or, some days I say I'm a poet and I don't even know it. And actually saying that, it's really interesting because, again, this is how the child grows, right? Perhaps we've tried too hard in the past to be something that we weren't. When you're in school and you're told you have to write a story or whatever, I was never really great at that kind of stuff, or write a poem. I was never really great at that kind of stuff. I was, because I felt it needed to look a certain way. It needed to. And yet when we just show up and allow ourselves to be the vessel, to be ourselves, life is effortless. Being who we are is effortless because it's so hard to be something that we're not. It's so hard to live with regret. It's so hard to live in the headspace. It's much easier to be in our heart, breathe with our heart, become the feather on the breath of God. Light as a feather. Because we're always tethered. We are eternally tethered to source. And death and rebirth take place in the same space. And I believe that's true for all of us, for everything. And in particular, when the physical vessel dies, I believe it's an instant shift to a new dimension. In fact, and I say that because I was shown that through having the experience of Frank's transition. And as soon as he stopped breathing, as soon as the heart stopped beating, his soul was gone. His soul was gone. It literally went up a cord. It was gone. It was a silver cord. And, he was there 1 minute or 1 second and gone the next. Death in this life, rebirth into a new life. And that's what we are here on Mother Earth in the process of now. Death of the old as the new comes into form. So, everyone, I trust that those messages resonate. We'll be back here tomorrow with the angels, all of you. And I hope something here made sense tonight. Tonight. I hope something made sense here. Um, and I'd like to thank you for being here, because if it didn't make sense to you, it certainly supported a shift within me. And this space allowed me an opportunity to, um, you know, admit to a wrong and move on. What's done is done. It can't be undone. And, can we carry on like the grounded sun, the cup of love? Yeah, I think we can. And so, Angela, Dawn, Gina, Colleen, thank you all so much for being here and engaging in the live. Those of you who are catching this on the replay, thank you so much for showing up. And, let me know if something here made sense. And if you don't want to engage with a word or two, hit that thumbs up. That helps too. And I hope all of your wishes and dreams come true. And I hope this is the week that you begin to see them materialize in your experience. Until tomorrow, everyone, I see you, I feel you, I love you. Thank you so much for showing up and pouring into my cup. And thanks for listening. Take good care.